Forget what you heard. Yeah, boy!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Luke.
And today we're continuing the journey. And today we're going to the Beast Coast. NFC East, baby. You loving it? You living it up?
Heck yeah, man. NFC East. Can't forget about them, man. This is a division not known for being very special, not known for being a very strong division. But it looks like the tides are turning, man. Not really a bad team in this group, if you ask me.
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised by this. I was thinking, NFC East, man, that's a dumpster over yonder. But I looked into it, and the teams have all improved. Should be an interesting year.
NFC East, more like NFC West.
Oh, West and East?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's start out with America's favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys.
The loss.
Yeehaw! Down in Dallas. And let's start it off with the quarterback, Dak Prescott. Running backs, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. Wide receivers, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, just to name a few. Tight end, they got Blake Jarwin. Offensive line, they're bringing back some big old boys. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Connor Williams, La'el Collins. And on the defensive end, on the defensive line, DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory. Linebacking core of Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, Micah Parsons, rookie. Corner, Trayvon Diggs. They got Anthony Brown out there. Looks the same to me on paper pretty much, man. I know they drafted Micah Parsons, and they added Keanu Neal, which could help. What's your outlook on the Boy Cows?
Yeah, defensively, I still think they're a bottom 10 to 15 defense on paper. I know their linebacking core is solid, but, are we going to see a healthy Leighton Vander Esch? It's still up in the air. I don't know how motivated he is, but he's a big X factor for them. If he's come back and he's healthy and he's motivated, he's a good player. And then with Jalen Smith, I don't think they picked up his fifth-year option. He's got a lot to prove this year. But, if they're full strength and ready to play, that's not a bad linebacking core. But my biggest worry, of course, is the secondary. And I think even their defensive line. They didn't address that in the draft. I know they have Lawrence, who they have big contract, big money to. But Randy Gregory, he's had his troubles in the past, but he's shown flashes on the field. Their defensive tackles, their interior defensive line is a big issue. I think that's going to be a problem for them, stopping the run up the middle. But I do like Michael Parsons. He's a very promising young guy. I think he's going to be their starting middle linebacker from day one. And it's a talented group, but, what are we going to see?
Yeah, we're going to sing the same old song with the Cowboys. They come in, extra hype every year. We're going to the playoffs. Then we get disappointed. Is that what we're going to see, or you think this is a different vibe? There's a different vibe around the Jerry world, around Dallas.
No, I think the recipe is going to be the same. Really, their defense is going to hold them back. But we're going to see so much offensively that I think it's going to carry them. I think they'll finish with a better record, probably finish as a better overall team. But if that defense does not improve, it's going to be the same thing, having to score 40 points to keep up with teams and Dak really having to hold a lot on his back. But if this defense is able to improve, middle of the pack with this offense, this is a team we got to look out for.
Yeah, and you brought up Dak. Does he have? Would you call this a revenge season or a season to prove that he really was putting up Madden stats? Like, is it like he needs to prove it, or do you think that's who he is? Like, he's a very talented quarterback. Like, he's an upper echelon quarterback, like, you know what I mean? Franchise guy.
Yeah, no, that's a good question to ask because, I mean, we've seen him have spurts. He's very promising. He has a lot of good talent, you know, but a lot of that contributed to his weapons or, you know, his offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, kind of orchestrating something for Dak, or, you know, is it Dak? Is Dak really this studly guy? He got paid. I do think he deserved to get paid. Why not? I think he's a good player. I did write down a question for myself and you as well. You know, where does a healthy Dak rank amongst quarterbacks? You know, is he one of the top tier guys? Is he elite? And is he good enough to win a Super Bowl? You know, is he that type of quarterback to where when things go down and things go bad, is he a guy you can kind of rely on to be, you know, clutch in big situations, or a guy who can, you know, run a 2-minute offense and, you know, score in big moments? And I still think the jury's out on that in terms of being able to, you know, win. We haven't really seen him win yet, so I don't know. I do think he's up there with some of the best in terms of putting up numbers with yards. He can do it on the ground with his legs, but for him to be in that elite category, he's got to win. He's got to be able to pull it all together and pull out some games. So I don't know. It's hard to judge him. It's still early in his career, but what do you think about that?
Well, I like how you brought up, you know, he has weapons on weapons, you know what I mean?
So many.
So, is it the weapons or is it Dak? Is it it's like the chicken and the egg, which came first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough, but, you know, I'm starting to lean towards Dak's a good quarterback, a winning quarterback. He's, you know, I think you're born with it, or I don't know, develop it. But he's got like that it factor, I believe. Like I've seen it. He's been through a lot. He had a tough life. He just seems like a winner, class act. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league, and I think he's you know, he has the potential to even, you know, his value could go up even further. But it doesn't hurt that he has all these freak weapons, man. And let's get into these weapons, man. You know, we know about Amari. Michael Gallup's a good player. CeeDee Lamb. Do you think it would be unheard of to see CeeDee Lamb eclipse Amari Cooper and take over as the number one, be the go-to guy in this offense
for 2021?
Yeah. Or you start to see the shifting of the tide.
I don't know if it's a shifting of the tide. I do think CeeDee Lamb is their guy for the future. You know, Cooper's getting up there in age, but with CeeDee being in the slot, even though typically I don't think he's a slot guy, I think he could play outside, inside, wherever you need him to. I just think with Gallup and Cooper, it kind of forces him inside, which I think is good for him in terms of getting involved. Yeah, I mean, CeeDee Lamb in the slot just sounds scary. You know what I mean? Like, if you have that good of weapons to be able to put such a good young receiver in the slot, it's just scary. But in terms of being the number one, yeah, I do think so. I don't know if I don't know, man, because Amari Cooper was like the 4th overall pick, was one of the greatest prospects in NFL history at the receiver position. He's still really good. I know he's had injuries in the past, but when he's healthy, I think he's the true number one for this Cowboys team, and I think it'll continue to be that way because he's really good, man.
I think Amari Cooper is the most overrated wide receiver in the NFL.
Why do you say that?
I just think that. I don't think he has great hands. I don't think he's that great of a route runner. I mean, he's fast and athletic and stuff, but
I think a lot of people feel that same way, to be honest. I don't think it's a bad thing.
We can't all be wrong.
Yeah, like, I don't think like you're wrong or anything. Like, you definitely could be right, but to me, I think he does it year in and year out. Like, he puts up numbers, he scores touchdowns, he makes big plays when you need him to. I just think he's really reliable, and he's kind of that reliable go-to guy for Dak whenever he kind of gets down and out and he really needs a big play.
I would beg to differ. I think he disappears a lot. I
don't know, mate.
He shows up every now and again, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's reliable.
I think he's reliable.
Or consistent.
I don't know, man. He just does it every year in and year out. He puts up really good numbers.
I mean, that's true, but it's like he has these boom games, and then you forget he's playing.
I think he does. I mean, he was more like that with the Raiders, but with Dallas, I mean, he's been real reliable. I mean, yeah, there's games where he doesn't finish or he's hurt or he's hobbling around, but like I said, man, when he's healthy, I mean, I think he's the number one for this team, and then CeeDee Lamb's right behind him, but the fact that they're both in the offense, one's in the slot, one's on the outside, it's just a matter of, where Dak feels comfortable throwing to, which, I mean, in the past it's been Cooper, but now with a guy like CeeDee Lamb, I could definitely see him take over as number one at some point.
And do you think that Zeke will be back in the mode where he's eating out of an imaginary bowl of dog food again, being a beast?
Yeah, I think so. I think Zeke's a guy that they're going to be able to rely on. I know we mentioned this in a past podcast, but I've been seeing some film of his off-season grind, and he looks young, he looks healthy, and I think he's going to get back to his ways. I do think, Tony Pollard's going to be a lot more involved in this offense this year, because he's a big play guy. He doesn't need a lot of touches to make a big impact. So I think he's going to be sprinkled in, but for Ezekiel Elliott being the guy, being that, one of the top running backs in the league, I can definitely see it with the healthy offensive line. And with the weapons they have on the outside, it just really opens it up for Zeke. And then getting Dak back. We saw Zeke the first 2 games with Dak. He was putting up real good numbers. And he's just a great guy around the goal line. So I think that's huge for the offense. If Zeke's back and we get a healthy Dak back, this is the number one offense in the NFL if they're healthy.
And on the defensive side of things, they were just plain awful last year. They couldn't stop a JV basketball team. Let's be honest. Do you think Micah Parsons has an impact? I know for me, I like how you mentioned, you really like him and stuff. He's like a bull in a china closet for me. That guy's
Chris
running.
Collinsworth.
Yeah. Hey, you got to look up to the greats, man. But yeah, I think he can make noise. He can be a disruptor. And their linebackers, dude, I always thought Jalen Smith was good, but he's butt.
Yeah, he is.
Real butt. Leighton Vander Esch is good.
They're just really inconsistent at linebacker. I know I didn't like the Micah Parsons pick, but, I mean, they just have so many needs defensively. But with the inconsistent play with Smith and Vander Esch, I think it kind of makes sense to go with Parsons because you can kind of, you can hope that he comes in, he plays consistently. And as a talent, he's probably the most talented of the 3. I think he has the potential to be like the defensive rookie of the year. And then another guy, Jabril Cox, who they drafted, who I did like a lot, is extremely athletic. I can see him carving out a role in this linebacking core.
Where did he go?
LSU.
Oh, boy, they're just taking over the league.
Yeah, he looks good. I actually watched some of his film, and he's always there at the right time. Every time there's a forced fumble, he's on there, ready for the recovery. He's in the right spot at the right time, and he's extremely athletic. He's all over the place. So I like Jabril Cox, and Parsons is the same way, just very athletic, flying all over the field. So it just depends. It's hard to judge the defense, but on paper, I still think they're a bottom 10, 15 defense.
I have a bright side for all you Cowboys fans out there. I know you guys get a lot of hate. Especially in the 2000s, which is well-deserved. You guys think your poo don't stank, and someone's got to put you in your place. But being an optimistic guy, I want to make you guys feel better. I think, maybe not Super Bowl bound this year, maybe not even, maybe make the playoffs, but I think the offense is very sound in a Super Bowl, capable of winning a Super Bowl offense, but in terms of defense, they just need to add pieces in the offseason and literally load up on defense, in the draft and free agency. And they can very well in one offseason be the best team in the NFL. I think it's not that, far-fetched. Like, they have so much. Their offense is disturbed. Offensive line's great. Weapons everywhere you look. Zeke, Dak. I mean, they have the makings. And then they just need to sprinkle some, bad boys in the defense, man, playmakers,
Yeah, 100%. But the big concern, is the amount of money they've spent on their offense. Like, their offense is a juggernaut, but, a lot of money was put towards that. Not a lot of money to spend on other things, other needs to address, which I think is going to kind of come back to bite them in a year or two when they're trying to bring in a big-name defensive free agent. I mean, people want to play for the Cowboys. It just seems like...
Do they?
Yeah, I think they do, man. I think players like playing for Jerry Jones. I mean, we can say what we want on the outside. Like, I'm not a big fan of Jerry Jones, but I think the players respect him. I think he takes care of his players. I think he's really engaged in what the Cowboys are doing. And it's just, I think players want to play there. But if you don't have the money to pay some big-name free agents to build up this defense, you're going to have to nail picks in the draft. And then outside of Michael Parsons and Jabril Cox, it's just I'm not so sure about the way they draft defensively. But if they can nail in some picks in the future and really build it up, this team is Super Bowl bound for a few years.
Is there any more you want to add about the Cowboys?
Yeah, I've got a question about their head coach. Is Mike McCarthy the coach for this team? Like, in the long run, is he the guy that they need to win?
No.
You're not a McCarthy guy?
Yeah, I don't like Mike McCarthy.
What about Kellen Moore?
I like Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
He's young. His offense is, he calls a great offensive game.
This might be fairy tale, but the idea of, bringing Tony Romo as your head coach might not be a bad idea.
What about bring Jerry Jones down from the office?
No, that's where he belongs.
What about Bill Parcells?
No.
Jimmy Johnson?
I don't think they're living anymore.
I think both of them are still alive. What if you throw Bob Ryan?
They probably have a better chance with John Daly.
John Daly would be a heck of a coach.
Yeah, he would. He seems like a Cowboy type of guy.
What about Rex Ryan?
He's no good, man. Washed.
Yeah, well, they'll find maybe a young coach like a Sean McVay up and coming. There seems
Lincoln
to be
Riley.
There's a lot of he's not coming. Oh, yeah, that's it.
There's rumors.
I could see that.
Why not? Where do you have them going record-wise?
I have the Cowboys going 11-6.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. What's your record for them?
I have them going 10-7.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's not a bad schedule at all, really. I think there's a lot of winnable games, a lot of close games, but like I said, man, if the defense doesn't finish middle of the pack, I don't think this team could be losing a lot of games and having to come back, and that's not a good recipe for success. So it's all in my hands. It's a matter of how good is this defense going to be? Because we know the offense is already going to be top 5. So if they want to win the division, they're going to have to step up defensively and hopefully stay healthy.
You got a bolder?
Maybe not so bold, but Dak Prescott is the comeback player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke gets back to his old self and has 2,000 total yards. And with Zeke, another thing, too, is we can't forget how involved he is in the pass game as well. He's a guy that could get 50, 60 targets this year, potentially even more. Kellen Moore loves to get Zeke involved in the pass game, screens, around the goal line, whatever they need to do. So I could see him with 2,000 total yards, maybe 1,300 rush yards, 700 receiving yards for a bold prediction. And then last but not least, they finished as the number 1 offense, and it's not really close.
Very good. Very, very good.
What's your bold prediction?
One of them's kind of random. Who's the guy who usually does the game with Troy Aikman?
Joe Buck.
Oh, Joe Buck?
Isn't it? Or does he still do it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's Joe Buck.
So this season, Joe Buck will finally say live on air that Troy Aikman looks a lot like Jay-Z.
Somebody's got to do it, man.
Yeah, like it'll be out in the universe. I know there's been like memes and stuff, but like Joe Buck will actually notice it and say it like genuinely. You know, Troy, you kind of look like Jay-Z.
And then he says it, and there's like a thing that pops up on the screen of like lookalikes.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Hopefully, man, someone's going to call it out.
But my bold prediction is, in the next this is kind of like a future thing, but in the next like couple years, Cowboys become a dynasty team like they were in the 90s.
Whoa.
And the Cowboys fans can recharge and start being their pompous and arrogant selves again, and then we can put them down in in like 10 years again.
Dynasty, they're winning like 5 rings.
3, just like the ones in the 90s, you know?
Okay. Yeah, that's bold.
Yeah.
Potential, though. There's potential there for sure.
Yeah, there's some salt in that nugget.
Yeah, there's some juice in that firehouse.
Yes, there is, boy. Yes, there is.
I'll tell you that.
All right. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, let's move on to the best team in the East.
The Seagulls. Philadelphia Eagles, everyone.
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby.
Fly,
Go Birds.
Seagulls, fly, baby. Don't take my Flamin' Hot Cheetos from me on the beach.
Don't do it to them.
All right. Let's get into this roster. Quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Let's not forget about his backup, Joe Flacco, baby.
Super Bowl champ.
Running backs, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. Added carry on Johnson. Wide receiver, Jalen Reagor. Devontae Smith, Greg Ward, Travis Fulgham. Tight ends, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz. They got a solid offensive line, Andre Dillard, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson.
Pretty good.
Yep. And they're on the defensive side, on their D-line, they have Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. Linebackers, Sean Bradley is 7'7" center. Rest in peace.
Yeah, terrible news.
Yeah, I think he's riding a bike. That's sad. Corner, Darius Slay, Avant Maddox, and a safety, Rodney McLeod. They haven't made many moves, but in a way, they look completely different.
Yeah. In all honesty, unbiasedly, you can't...
Unbiasedly or biasedly?
Unbiased.
Yeah, right.
This is
My
all
name's
unbiased.
Stinky Pete.
This is a preview, man. I'm going to say good and bad things. That's what it is.
I'm going to call you out if I hear bias like you did to me.
But first things first, man. This Eagles team's odd. I'm going to be completely honest. It's just the way they're structured is just different. I think they're unlike any team in the NFL. I don't think you can compare them to any team. Just the way they're built's different. But you can't ignore this Philadelphia team in the NFC East. They could go a lot of different ways. Last year they finished dead last with 4-11-1. We expect them to be competitive with Doug Peterson and the talented roster, but it just completely fell apart. Wentz went completely off the rails. Their defense fell apart, and just injuries. They get the injury bug. Ever since that Super Bowl run, they just can't stay healthy. But as a roster, top to bottom, it's extremely talented. They had a really good draft, and it's the Jalen Hurts era, baby. What is he gonna do, man? Hopefully,
big question there.
Yeah, he's shown some flashes. He got pulled as the last game last year. It's not a great sign, but it seems to me like they're committing to him being the starter. But a lot of questions, man. A lot of things up in the air.
Yeah, I don't want to be biased either, but it looks like, the Eagles have a lot of redheaded stepchildren.
What do you mean?
Like, Jalen Hurts isn't the best Alabama quarterback to come out. Miles Sanders isn't the best running back from Penn State to come out. Devontae Smith was drafted lower than Jalen Waddle. Looks like they're getting crumbs from the table. I'm just messing with you, man. He had steam coming out of his ears.
Let's call Devontae Smith
I think
a redheaded stepchild after winning the Heisman.
Well, that was just a joke to see. He had smoke coming out of his ears, and his fists were balled up. But in all honesty, I think Devontae Smith will be, better than Jalen Waddle in the long run. Miles Sanders is a good running back.
Booby Miles.
I'll say he's decent right now. I can't push him to good yet. And for me, Jalen Hurts is, like you said, man, he's a X Factor. He's a mystery machine. But I root for him, man. I really do. I know he can do it on the ground. The biggest question is, can he throw that ball? You know what I mean? And accurately and on time and read defenses. And that's really the biggest question for the Eagles. They stand pat pretty much everywhere else, right?
Yeah, I think the weapons they have this year are fine. Jalen Reagor, Smith, Dallas Goedert, Booby Miles Sanders. I think that's a good group of weapons for Jalen Hurts. In the past, you can't really say that. Alshon Jeffrey's been out, Greg Ward, Travis Fulgham last year. But if Jalen Reagor steps up, Devontae Smith has that chemistry with Hurts, and then Dallas Goedert, promising young tight end. That's a pretty solid group, and if the O-line can stay healthy, I think this could be a crazy offense. I'm not going to be short of that. I think the potential of Smith and Hurts together is kind of a scary thought if things work the right way. I think the chemistry's there. And then if Miles Sanders is able to stay healthy, I think they have a solid rushing attack with the guys behind them too. And it's just a matter of putting it together for this Eagles team. Really, Jalen Hurts, if he can just put it together, be the guy, be their franchise quarterback, prove his worth as a passer. The potential's there. Like I said, you just got to put it together.
Is Ertz going to be there by the beginning of the season?
I'd be shocked.
Everyone says that he's stiff and slow now. Is that true?
Yeah, I think he's, 30 with a lot of miles. I think tight end's the most brutal to your body, the most physical position in the NFL. So, yeah, he might be a little burnt out. But, I think he'll be gone maybe to, Buffalo or some other team in the AFC.
I have an important question for you.
Sure.
Would you let me on the bandwagon?
I'd give you a really hard time, but sure, yeah.
Well, I like how they have two Houston boys. Actually, maybe where's Jalen Reagor from?
TCU.
I know, but where, in high school?
I don't know.
Where'd Greg Ward go to high school?
Not sure. Hightower?
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did.
Wow. Yeah, they got. I like them, but it's hard for me. I think I'll pass. I'll let the fan or the bandwagon, go on without me.
Yeah, that's fine. I think defensively, though, they just need to bring in another corner, like a Steven Nelson, or just someone who's still out there available. You got to. Avonte Maddox is fine. He would be a great number 3. But Darius Slay is a good player. Two guys I want to mention, probably more, but Anthony Harris. They got him as a strong safety from the Minnesota Vikings. In 2019, I think he graded as the highest graded safety in the NFL, so I think that's a good get for them, replacing Malcolm Jenkins. Derek Barnett, high round pick a few years back as a defensive end. What is he going to bring? He's shown flashes, but has yet to put it together. Yeah, their strength with Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, two really solid, really guys who have proved their worth in this league. And then, the most up in the air position, linebacker. I don't know why this team never addresses a linebacker position. They never bring anyone. Eric Wilson they brought in, who's fine, he's good, but just in years past, ever since Nigel Bradham, guys like that, they just really never address it, and that always is going to hurt them in the long run. So I don't know what to expect from this team. The potential's there to be good, but realistically, we'll have to see how it comes out.
Yeah, they got Ryan Kerrigan, right?
Yeah.
He's probably washed, huh?
Probably. They're Edge rushers are fine. I don't know why they brought him in, but they have Josh Sweat is there too. I expect a lot from him actually this year. I think he could get like double-digit sacks if they let him play.
Is it true that Anthony Harris is a dreadlock corner? Safety?
Yeah.
A dread lockdown safety?
Yep.
Yeah. Good man.
Yeah, he's got that, man.
He's got it down?
Yeah, he's got it down.
I heard he's wearing a wig.
No, that's as real as it gets.
I heard he wears a wire.
Yeah, I heard he wears no underwear. Which is my type.
I thought we were going to get through an episode without you mentioning undergarments.
No, had to.
I'm glad you brought it back, man. I was getting lonely.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Stay healthy. Please stay healthy. That's really what they need to do so they can build some chemistry, get to that potential, and get back to winning the NFC East.
Yeah, we'll see. It should be interesting. I don't know if it'll be done this year. I mean,
no, they need a few more drafts, man.
What do you have their record?
How good can Dallas Goedert be?
How good?
Yeah.
I already think he's a good tight end, but if Ertz is out of the picture, I think he could be a top 5 tight end in the league. Like, he's up next, dog. Because they love, Philly's always loved their tight ends.
Yeah.
They had Brent Selleck. Ertz was he was a top tight end, dude.
Yeah, he's up there with Kelsey for a few of them.
Yeah, and I think, Hurts seems like a tight end guy. And he made Goddard kind of rejuvenated last year.
Yeah, I honestly can't wait to just move on from Ertz and just roll out Goddard. Let him play as much as he can.
Yeah, Ertz is kind of, just there.
But, I love Ertz. He was great for them for a long time, and I appreciate him.
Yeah, shout out you, Ertz.
Super Bowl champ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have them going 8-9, realistically. I think they improve off of last year, winning 4 games. I think they can get to 8-9. I think they show spurts of being real good, but I just still think they're a few drafts away of becoming powerhouse.
Thank you for your honesty.
I told you I was bringing honesty from the get.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm not even trying to butter your buns or anything, but you did a better job with your favorite team than I did with my favorite team.
Yeah, I got to, man. This is for the people. This ain't for me.
You smell good.
Thank you. I never think you've ever told me that.
Yeah, well, there's a first for everything.
That was like a virtual hug.
You stink.
All right, what do you have them finishing then?
7-10.
Okay.
I'm just being real. I'm being unbiased here, man. I'm being realistic. Even if Jalen Hurts is good, maybe 9-8, but 7-10 is where I landed, and I am going to stick to it.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I think the NFC East, they're just going to beat each other up, man. Like those matchups are going to be very good to watch, finally.
They always are.
Not last year, dude. It was a toilet bowl, man.
No, but the games are close. It's very competitive every year, even when the good teams do.
Yeah, but the talent wasn't there, man. The flashiness wasn't there.
Maybe
the storylines weren't there, man.
That's injuries, man. We still have to worry about injuries, but I do want to mention people sleep on Booby Miles Sanders. But we can move on.
You can't call a Cocker Spaniel a lion, dude.
Yeah, but you can call him a sheep.
Has anyone ever told you have a way with words?
Yeah, all the time.
Well, you do, man. That's why this is your job.
That's why I'm here. And that's
podcaster, man. Extraordinaire.
Yeah, I'll be on the toilet for the next one.
Looking forward to it, man.
Get that one on video.
No. All right. You got a boulder? You got a bold prediction? What's it going to be? How's it going to be?
Jalen Hurts.
Ooh.
Doesn't get past week 8 as a starter. In the 2022 offseason, Deshaun Watson's a Philadelphia Eagle.
Wait, who starts? Joe Flacco?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Or Sudfeld.
I feel sorry for you.
No, I think it's fine. That's a bold prediction. Jalen Hurts could be an absolute freak, be in the MVP conversation. he only showed so much last year, so it's just could go either way. But being bold, I'm gonna say it doesn't work out, and because I think they're still interested in Watson, so I think it would work out if like Hurts didn't perform as well. So then it makes it more reasonable. But if Hurts shows out, then maybe they hold off on Watson. But I wouldn't mind having Watson on Philly, kind of regardless of what Jalen Hurts does. I think Watson's proved it. He's still a young quarterback. He's already got his contract, and he would look very nasty in the green and black.
I concur, man. I concur.
And the Eagles love their African-American quarterbacks, so we support it, bring him in with open arms, and he would fit right in with these young weapons and Boobie Miles. That would be so sick. But speak it into existence.
Yeah, they do have a history of African-American quarterbacks. Donovan McNabb, Mike Vick, Randall Cunningham, Ron Jaworski.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Juan Jarowski, man.
Jaws.
All
right.
What's your bold?
My bold prediction is that after the Philadelphia Eagles play the Rams, a Philly fan will pee into a popcorn bucket. And as Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey are walking off into the tunnel, he throws the popcorn-filled piss bucket at Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and a melee ensues, and they go into the stands, and they fight like the Malice at the Palace.
Yeah.
But this will be called the Wet Willie in Philly. And it's like the first time any like NFL player, and they literally like destroy but the thing about the Eagles fans is they line up to fight. They're not running away because they're psychotic.
Right.
And they're just hordes of them are just charging, and Aaron Donald's throwing them, and Jalen Ramsey sucker punching people. It's just a crazy, crazy sight.
Yeah, I like where your head's at with that.
Yeah,
I could totally see it.
Yeah, that would be. You can picture it, can't you?
Yeah, because both of those crowds won't back down. Ramsey won't, and Philly
Aaron
fans
Donald,
are the craziest in the league. So, yeah, I could definitely see it. It would be a scary sight, and someone would definitely
lose their life.
Somebody's night would end in the morgue.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Wet Willie in Philly. But
I like that, man. You can go ahead and start spreading the propaganda for that.
Yeah, I'll get the Philly fans riled up. And my real bold take is Devontae Smith will win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
That's not bold. That's realistic.
And Jalen Hurts will be a Pro Bowler.
That's bold. That's
Pro Bowl quarterback in his second year.
That's the one we like, man.
Yeah, so that's my bold takes for the Eagles.
Cool. What do you expect from Jalen Reagor before we move on?
You know what? I think he's going to surprise people.
You think?
But he's going to not be the number one wide receiver.
Say the over/under on 700 yards is the line. Over/under.
Over barely.
Like 800.
Yeah, 750, 800.
What if his over/under for touchdowns is 5?
Over.
Really?
Yeah, I'll go over.
So like 750 and 6.
Yeah, I think he'll have a decent year, man.
Me too.
You go over for both too?
Yeah, I think like 750, 800.
I don't know. 5 is pretty high.
5 touchdowns.
He had 1 last year, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. 5 might be too high. I'll just go over, though.
I think 5's good because
4.5.
He's been working all offseason with Hurts, and the way he was rolled out last year in the offense was the wrong way, and Philly understood that. The reports are saying that they even said that they used Reagor completely wrong, and so he's going to be much better.
Yeah, as long as they know how to use him, I think he'll be fine. He's a good player.
Yeah.
And he stays healthy.
For sure. All right, who we got next, man? New York.
The G-Men.
Garbage.
You garbage. Yeah, I'm walking here.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah, those New York Giants, man.
Yeah, I like this.
Let's do the rundown on the team, baby. At quarterback, Danny Destiny Dimes, Daniel Jones, Danny Jones Locker. Running back, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Booker. Wide receivers, Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, John Ross, Darius Slayton.
Wow.
Tight ends, Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph. O-line, I'll throw some names at you. Nate Solder, Solder, Zach Fulton. Defensively, they have, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, signed him. Linebackers, Lorenzo Carter, Reggie Ragland, Blake Martinez. Cornerback, James Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, who they got in free agency. And their safeties, Jabril Peppers and Logan Ryan. Are the G-men back?
Yeah, I think they're getting there, man.
Do my loins bequeath me?
Yeah, I think they have great coaching, a rising defense, and potentially a balanced offense with, adding Kenny Golladay and getting Saquon Barkley back. Their offseason, they were very active in upgrading their defensive positions and getting some depth, and then getting playmakers for Daniel. That's what they need.
Don't ever call him Daniel, man. That's what he was drafted as, but he's evolved.
What is he now, Darks?
Danny Destiny Dimes.
Nah, I don't know.
Well, don't call him Daniel. At least call him Dan or
He
Danny.
hasn't turned into their franchise passer just yet.
All right, once he does, you can't call him Daniel anymore.
I'll call him Ron.
Call him Danny Phantom.
Yeah, I don't know, man. On paper, this offense looks really good. I think it's the best receiving core overall in the NFL. If you want to include Evan Ingram.
Is that your bold take, or you just spit and spat?
No, that's what I believe with my heart.
Hey, man, your heart's in the right place.
I mean, you mentioned 5 pretty solid, potentially really good receivers. Evan Ingram and Kyle Rudolph, if you want to mention them in the group.
Wow.
It's a good group of guys, man. They got the potential. They just need to unlock Daniel Jones. That's why they went out and spent big dollars, 4 years, $72 million on Kenny Galls. He's a good player. I think he's going to open it up, potentially unlock Daniel Jones.
Can you continue with Daniel?
Yeah, like I said, he hasn't proved nothing.
Hoot Dan Jones, hoot Dan Jones, hoot Dan Jones.
You don't get to Danny without performing.
How does he get to Dan?
Oh, he's got to turn into Brett Favre.
John.
Yeah, you have a lot of Johns on his phone. But the biggest and strongest group of this team.
Speak it.
Secondary.
Ooh, sha-la-la.
The Giants have a problem. Too many starting options in the secondary. It's a good problem.
Very good.
They have 3 really good safeties, Logan Ryan, Jabril Peppers, Xavier McKinney, and even Julian Love? Julian Love?
Something like that.
Something Love. But this problem, it gives them enough versatility to not have to rely on like a third cornerback. They could put Logan Ryan in the slot. They drafted Darnay Holmes and Aaron Robinson at a UCF. I think they'll compete for that nickel spot too, but they got size, experience, and it gives them an opportunity to just compete on the outside. James Bradbury brought in Adoree Jackson. James Bradbury is a top 5 cornerback.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'd say top 10.
I think he's closer. I think you could maybe say 6 or 7, but I think he's in my group. He's been super good since Carolina every year. And just the secondary is like you mentioned, Denver has the best secondary. I mentioned the Giants, and I'm still thinking it's the Giants. Really good.
It's very good, yeah. I mean, I won't hate on that at all.
I think their defense alone makes this a really good team as it is. Like, if you don't even involve the offense, like, this defense for any team makes them a good team. It's very solid. Leonard Williams, Danny Shelton, Dexter Lawrence. I want to mention Dexter Lawrence. He's a really good player. I saw a film. He was getting double-teamed, and he broke out of it and absolutely destroyed, I think it was David Montgomery, crushed him. It was like double-team didn't mean anything to him. He's a Clemson product, and he is a monster. He's a good player. And then Blake Martinez, You know, he's up there with leading the league in tackles almost every year. I don't think he's great, but he does a good job. And then Azeez Ojulari, kind of a project pass rusher, but that was a big need for them, so salute for that. Just a great defense and really good team all the way around.
So you think that the Giants drastically improved their defense? Drastically?
Well, even last year, weren't they like one of the top units? Pretty sure they were.
It was just their offense?
Yeah, their offense struggled a lot without Saquon's.
Well, this year's going to be different because this is Danny's team.
This is launch.
You know, Danny looks like a clean-cut guy, right?
Yeah.
But I think he's one of those guys that'll stab you in the back. I think he's dirty.
I think
he's like a Ted Bundy, man.
Yeah. He's got the eyes of a cereal.
He has the eyes of a shark.
Yeah.
When he smells blood, they turn all black.
Yeah.
But that's what you need in a franchise quarterback. That's what you need out of Danny Dimes, man. But with all this talk, we're talking heads right now, man. Shaquan Charles Barkley is coming back. Crazy, beautiful day. I will probably shed a couple tears when I see him walk onto that field with those quads out and his calves are raising. And him raising hell. Him and Danny Dimes turn into a dynamic with the Derek.
Yeah, I think a healthy return for Saquon is the deciding factor in which direction this team goes.
Do you think Kenny Golladay has a huge hand in?
Yes, huge.
What about Kadarius Toney?
Not as much.
He's not OBJ reincarnated?
No. No, he's not that level of a prospect. That definitely reached for him. He's more of a gadget guy. He's going to play a lot because they spin a lot. He's a good guy after the catch. But we mentioned it in the draft grades. You know, his hands aren't great. I don't think he's like a prototypical guy you can just rely your offense with. He's more of just like a big play. Mecole Hardman, get the ball in his hands on screens, on deep throws. And he's extremely explosive. I'll give him that, which is great because, you know, Sterling Shepard and Golladay are more of not as finesse. They need that finesse, and Tony's going to bring that. And I think he was a reach as a prospect, but as a fit in the offense, I think he'll fit in just well.
Yeah, and I think this is like a put up or shut up season for Danny.
Absolutely.
He's got the weapons, no more excuses, no more fumbles, no more tripping on the way into the end zone, no more throwing picks.
No turnovers, man.
This isn't even my bold prediction, but I think Saquon Barkley will have 5 80-plus yard touchdowns.
I think I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, he can take it to the house on any touch.
Is that a crazy stat?
Yeah, but I wouldn't shock me. He's the greatest running back prospect of all time.
I was going to say he's going to have 5 99-yard touchdowns.
That's a bold prediction.
Yeah, that could never happen.
What can we expect from Daniel Jones?
I think... You know, I still think he turns the ball over a lot. Like for picks, he'll have 10+. Mid-30s in the touchdowns. And, you know, probably hopefully 4,200 yards.
Okay.
So but he'll definitely improve, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then I want to touch on a guy we haven't really talked about, but Evan Ingram. What are your thoughts on Evan Ingram? Do you think he's overlooked? I know he was a Pro Bowler, but, you know, he struggles with drops. He struggles as taking the next step to be one of those elite tight ends he was drafted to be. What do you think about Evan Ingram?
I think he's missed his opportunity to be one of the best tight ends. I think he had his chance when they didn't have a lot of weapons. He wasn't there both because of injury and his play. And he had every opportunity to become that guy. Mm-hmm. And he never showed out. And now all these weapons around, I think, you won't see the ball as much. The reads are probably different now. So I think he missed his opportunity. But I will say, if he does move on, maybe the grass is greener somewhere else.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, man, because he was like a freak at Ole Miss. Like super electric 4.4 speed at tight end. He's basically Kyle Pitts before Kyle Pitts, honestly, as a prospect. Things just didn't fall his way. I know he's had some good games. He's had some big plays, but just couldn't put it all together.
Yeah, I still like Evan Ingram, man.
Yeah. What do you have them finishing with?
I have them going a surprising 10-7, not done. This is part of the New York Renaissance. The Knicks are good. They're back in the playoffs, 4 seed. Brooklyn Nets. We got the Yankees. We got the Mets. We're back, baby. New York Jets are up and coming. New York Renaissance. We're going to Times Square, and we're going to tear that sucker down, baby. We're back. Big Apple.
Yeah, Big Apple, more like Big Grape.
Oh.
Stink juice.
Uh-oh. I guess your record's not as cool.
No, I have them going 9-8. That's a winning record.
It's a winning record, man. Renaissance continues, baby. See you guys on Manhattan Avenue at 9 p.m. in front of Frank's Corleone's Pizza.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of winnable games on their schedule. This isn't banking on Daniel Jones being good. It's their defense finishes as one of the best, and Saquon Barkley is back. He's healthy, and he's dominant. And that alone, I think, can get them like 6 wins. But then they're going to squeeze out, 2 or 3 games on the schedule against some difficult opponents. I think it happens every year. And I think the Giants are capable of, putting together 2 or 3 really good games against some good opponents and just sneaking it out. So I think 9-8 is in the realm of possibilities.
Did you know Shaquan's middle name was Charles?
No, that's unfortunate.
What do you mean? Charles Barkley was a great player.
Yeah, but he's not a very good...
He's good at what he does, man. TNT.
Yeah, I guess he's good at talking.
He's just not good at golf.
He fixed his swing up, though. It looks better.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, Charles Barkley isn't a bad guy.
No, he's a good guy.
He's funny, too.
Shaq's just cooler.
Yeah, Shaq is cool. That's just a great group of guys, man. They work really well. I hope one day we have a show and we're that cool. But we need an Ernie.
I'll be the Ernie.
No, because we're the guy.
Shaq and Charles?
Yeah.
I'd be Charles, probably.
Yeah, you'd be Charles.
But Ernie is the
he's the GOAT, dude.
He's the, yeah.
I was thinking
factor.
that I was playing 2K, and I was like, they should have Ernie as a player you can unlock.
Like a 99 overall?
No, he's like hit 30-something.
Oh.
His overall. It's like real Ernie.
Is he wearing a wife beater?
No, he's wearing a suit.
Oh, so
like
literal.
It's just Ernie, but you can just have him to be there. Because he's a morale guy. He keeps people's morale high.
Yeah, he's a
and
good dude.
And keep people from fighting and stuff.
He's been doing it for a long time. Respect.
Yep.
What is your bold prediction for the Giants?
My bold prediction is that, I have some nicknames.
All right, let's go down it.
For the wide receivers, I have the Blue Man Group.
Solid.
Thank you.
Maybe they'll paint it up, too.
And the Giants' defense is Blues Clues. Because at the beginning of the game, they're kind of getting torched, but they figure out the mystery, and they start locking them down. Blues Clues, because they always figure out.
I like that. Get Steve in there.
Yeah, man. Or Joe.
Who's Joe?
The guy that took over for Steve.
Oh, that guy's no cool.
I think Steve did some wild stuff.
With children?
No. I think he did just wild.
Drugs?
I don't know, man. I never really got to the bottom of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love that show.
You remind me of Magenta.
You remind me of Dolph Ziggler.
That's not a character in Blue's Clues. That would be strange if it was.
Come on, man. Let's hear the bold.
My bold prediction is the Giants get canceled. Their name. Because it's derogatory towards Giants.
Giant people?
Yeah, so they changed the name to Especially Tall Humans.
New York Especially Tall Humans?
Yes, to be politically
correct. But their
correct.
name isn't based off like giant people.
What?
It's not based off of giant people.
It's about the Giants. They got their feelings hurt, so they go to the media, and the media cancels the Giants, so they change their name to Especially Tall People.
But their name is based off the skyscrapers.
The Giants don't know that.
What if they just went New York skyscrapers?
That would be fine, but it's not as cool as Especially Tall People.
That's true.
Yeah.
What about the New York Blue Man Group?
The ETH. The ETHs.
The G-men?
They can't do that anymore.
Okay.
That would be very unfortunate. But my other bold prediction is that Kenny Golladay has 1,500 plus yards plus 12 touchdowns. Both career highs.
Dang, that's a huge year.
Yeah.
You think they could do it?
Danny Destiny Dimes.
That'd be a good year for him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my bold prediction is Daniel Jones.
Yeah, good one.
He plays so bad. Daniel Jones plays so bad. They actually convert him to receiver mid-game.
That's disrespectful. Edit that out. You think you'd be a good wide receiver?
But he gets converted to receiver and ends up being the franchise receiver over Kenny Golladay.
Okay, I like how that ended. Don't edit it out. That's fine.
Yeah, so that's one bold prediction. My other one is Saquon Barkley goes absolute nuts. Has 2,300 total yards. They win the NFC East, and Saquon wins Offensive Player of the Year.
It's a huge year for the G-Men.
Yeah, I mean, if he does something like that, carries them out, Offensive Player of the Year it is for Saquon.
Man, the especially tall humans might be something to worry about.
You gotta watch out for the Blue Man Group, and Saquon's back there.
Yeah, I hope they really coin that phrase.
Yeah, let's move on to the Washington, formerly of the Redskins, are now the football team.
The Washington football team. I've been thinking of the names that could potentially be.
I have one as well.
The Washington Poo Rakes. The Washington Gentlemen. The Washington Baby Cakes. And that's all I got right now.
Yeah, I have the Washington Lizard People because it better represents the people of Washington, D.C.
I like that one. That might be the number one. I have another one. The Sea Dwarfs.
That one's cute.
Yeah, it'd have like a little guy with the little scuba suit on.
Yeah.
I don't know what it has to do with. Yours is the best because it has something to do with Washington, how it's run by the Genovians.
What about the Washington Red Pandas?
The rarest of those things are cute.
What about the Washington Dog Walkers?
What about the Washington Rastafarians?
Yeah, there you go.
What about the Washington Anchor Bobs? Yeah, we're getting a little off track. Let's get back into it, man. So the Washington football team, what are we looking at, man? The quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Taylor Hinkie. Running back, Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Peyton Barber. Wide receivers, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Adam Humphries, Steven Sims Jr., Cam Sims. Tight end, Logan Thomas. Right, let's not forget Ricky Seals-Jones. Just to name a couple of offensive linemen, Brandon Scherf, Charles Leno Jr., and then we save the best for last, their defense. Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Darren Payne, Montez Sweat. Linebacker core, Jamin Davis, the rookie, John Bostic, Cole Holcomb. Cornerbacks, Kendall Fuller, William Jackson III. Safeties, Cameron Curl, Landon Collins. Are we back? Is the Washington football team looking like the Redskins?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know what that means.
Even last year they weren't like amazing, but they were competitive, and they put together a strong foundation. It's a well-coached team. They run the ball good. They stretch the field with McLaurin, and they can dominate on defense. The defense is only going to get better. And then to go from Tyler Hinkie and Alex Smith to Ryan Fitzpatrick is the X factor. We saw how good they were even with Alex Smith and Hinkie, who aren't starting quarterbacks anymore. They were a playoff team, even going 7-9. I think they're the fifth team in NFL history to do that. But we saw how good they can be. They made the playoffs 7-9, but being a playoff team without a quarterback and then bringing in Ryan Fitzmagic, a guy who we once knew as a guy who wasn't very good with Buffalo, with Houston, with the Jets. Wasn't a guy you could rely on. Wouldn't have a long career in the NFL. But look at him now, man. Look at him now. He's getting better with age. Benjamin Button.
So you're on the Fitzmagic train.
Oh yeah.
I'm on the Fitzlatrick plane because he's lacking.
In what?
I think, he's a hit or miss guy. I think he's a roller coaster ride. I don't think he's a stable, consistent starting quarterback. I think people, he had a good year, and then he's done it his whole career. He ends on a good note, gets paid by another team, and he's poop. It's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, but
he gets benched.
I want to argue that because Ryan Fitzpatrick is aggressive. We saw last year with the Dolphins. He's an aggressive quarterback. That's his nature. That's his go-to. But last year with Miami, he was highly effective. He put up solid numbers with the Dolphins. But to go from the Dolphins, he stays aggressive with the football team. With Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Diami Brown, Logan Thomas. This Washington team last year didn't have that aggressiveness at quarterback with Alex Smith, the least aggressive quarterback.
You forgot about Dwayne.
I don't care about him. I care about Ryan Fitzpatrick. The offense lacked aggressiveness. And to bring in one of the most aggressive quarterbacks to ever play in Ryan Fitzpatrick is huge. Absolutely gigantic. He's going to lift the ceiling of this offense. Alex Smith, Haskins kept this offense grounded last year. We saw it. It was ugly. It was boring to watch. This is going to be such an exciting offense this year. It's so fun. Just the thought of Ryan Fitzpatrick with these weapons and the weapons with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think it's going to be a better offense attached to an absolute great defense. And I think their chances of taking the NFC East are very high this year.
That's a very good point about his aggressiveness. It's not always the smartest decision. I would consider Fitzlatrick a gunslinger. Would you?
Absolutely.
And it benefits him at times and it hurts him at times. But I see your point, and you make a really good point that they did really lack aggressive QB play and someone that's willing to throw the ball and make plays. Ryan Fitzpatrick is your guy.
Can we just imagine Terry McLaurin with an aggressive QB?
Oh no, I think Scary Terry's in for a good one.
Huge one.
A good.
Yeah.
But my question for you is Curtis Samuel good?
Yeah. He's good. He's not great, but as a slot, I think he's dangerous.
I just know him as like a utility guy, not just a wide receiver.
The reason I think he is good is because he went to Ohio State and he showed out with a team of like Michael Thomas, Terry McLaurin, Zeke, and he was still like a huge factor in that offense. That's why I think he's a good player.
Yeah, I'll be looking at that all year, is how Curtis Samuel's doing. That's interesting.
Look out. He had a good year last year when they had a lot of weapons in Carolina with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. Like Samuel was still like a big target for Teddy Bridge. So he shows out even when there's a lot of talent around him. So I expect him to be pretty good as well.
Do you think the Washington football team has the best front seven in football?
I think arguably they have the best overall defense in the NFL. Their D-line is legit for sure. Yeah, their front four is the best in the NFL.
You don't like their linebacking core?
What, John Bostic, Cole Holcomb, and Jamin Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially they could be. I think
John Bostic and Cole Holcomb are solid linebackers.
I agree, yeah.
They're nothing special, but adding Jamin Davis, that's like an X factor on the defensive end.
Yeah.
If he's freaky.
Yeah, I agree. If he can be a run stopper up the middle, because Reuben Foster was trying to be that guy, but it didn't work out. But I like Jamin Davis. What
happened to Reuben Foster?
I like Jamin Davis.
Where's Reuben?
I forget.
I want the Broncos to sign him.
He's somewhere. I think he's like an outside linebacker now, though. But yeah, let's talk about the secondary for a minute. Kendall Fuller, William Jackson, Jimmy Moreland. Brought in William Jackson. Who'd they get rid of? Ronald Darby.
Darby.
Is that the only one they lost?
They lost the other one.
Who?
They lost another corner, didn't they?
You don't know who it is?
No.
Yeah, but Landon Collins could potentially be cut or traded.
How's that?
He's getting paid a lot of money. He hasn't been performing as good as he should. And they recently brought in Bobby McCain from the Dolphins, so it could be pointing to a sign of maybe moving on.
Bobby McCain stinks.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's a has-been.
But then they drafted 2 safeties in the draft as well, so Jeremy Reeves and Cameron Curl could potentially take over something maybe. It's just a prediction. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just something I'm trying to sniff out. But overall, yeah, arguably the best defense. Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat. I don't know if they're going to be able to continue to keep these guys long term. Like, you might have to pick and choose who they're going to pay. But as of right now, this is one of the best defensive groups in the league.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Antonio Banderas Gibson.
Yeah. We were getting there, man.
Slowly but surely, because, man, this guy's got a potential, he's got a potential star hanging over his head.
For sure.
He's got that theoretical carrot hanging over his head that he needs to get to.
Yeah, he's got one of them slime buckets hanging over his head getting ready to drop.
Yeah, McDonald.
Nickelodeon.
I don't know why I said. What's your hopes for Antonio Gibson? Hopes, thoughts?
My thoughts are that he's a budding superstar. I think once he gets the ability, once he gets the leashes unleashed, he's going to be extremely dangerous.
Good. Do you think he's a top 15 running back right now?
Yeah.
Top 10?
Whoa. In real life, probably not. Potentially, yeah. I think he's got the potential to be a superstar, to be honest.
I think his floor is a ceiling.
Yeah, I think his shorts are near his head.
I don't know what that means, but I don't know what I said either, so. Let's see.
What do you think about Antonio? Do you have any concerns of J.D. McKissick? Where does J.D. McKissick fall in with this offense? And, how are they going to be utilized, you think?
I don't have any concerns in terms of his carries. Just concerns of his how they use him as a pass catcher.
Do you think that's a good recipe for them? Or do you think they should just allow Antonio to do it all? Or do you think McKissick is good at what he does?
I mean, you know how I feel about this. I think Antonio should do it all. I mean, JD's a fine player, but, if you have a guy that can do it all, keep him hot, keep him ready to go, feed him, feed the bear.
And then Logan Thomas, former quarterback. Do you think he's legit, or do you think he's...
No, I think Logan Thomas is more talented and more surefire to actually produce.
You don't think he was a recipe of Alex Smith?
Well, dude, he'll be a recipe of Ryan Fitzpatrick. He loves tight ends, man.
Yeah, but you don't believe in him.
Believe in who?
Fitzpatrick.
I just think he's not of course he's not. He's a rent. He's a rent QB.
Yeah, but with the weapons they have outside and the really sturdy offensive line, you don't think that's going to keep them more stable?
Let me ask you something. Has Ryan Fitzpatrick ever led a team on a playoff run?
Never. He's never won a playoff game.
Thank you.
But he's also played with the Jets, the Bills, the Texans, the Dolphins. He did almost lead the Dolphins in there.
He's a rented QB.
I think he's proved his worth.
It depends. He's two-faced, man. You never know what you're going to get with him. He could throw 4 picks one game, the next game he throws 4 touchdowns. It's just very frustrating to me.
But he was much more efficient last year because Miami is a team that's built to win.
Just because he went to Harvard doesn't mean he can spell race car backwards. Okay? So get that out of your head. Just because he went to Harvard doesn't mean he's a Pro Bowler.
I'm not that high on Fitzpatrick either, but to go from Alex Smith to Fitzpatrick definitely lifts the offense, and I think that's all they need is just a little lift to get them to where they need to be going. That's it. Plus, he went to Harvard, same school as Barack Obama. He helped change the world, or tried to. And
Barack went to Harvard?
Probably not.
He went to Harvard. He knows stocks. He knows how to do physics.
Yeah, scientific research.
Physics, dark matter.
We get it, yeah.
Yeah, he knows how to do bibliographies. He knows how to, change a tire.
Yeah, he knows how to survive in the wilderness. We get it.
How does he wear his pants?
Under his belt buckle.
Alright, so he's a normal human.
No, he's probably far from it, actually. But he's cool, man. He wears the unbuttoned shirt.
I mean, I like him as a person.
He's got swag with his sunglasses, his beard. He's just got drip, man. That's what you need. Drippy and aggressiveness.
I like him as a person. Just I'm not sold of a quarterback. But
he's going to prove you completely wrong.
You very well could. You made very good points.
How about you stay away from the Washington football team in fantasy if you don't believe in them?
Oh, yeah? Why don't you do the Sunday edition of the Wall Street Journal crossword with him?
I'll do
Since
Sudoku.
You love him so much.
I'll write on his wallpaper.
Why don't y'all do long division together?
I'll kiss on him.
That's all I wanted to hear. I snuck that out of you. Now the whole world knows.
That's no secret.
You got a crush on him.
No, I told you. I think he's just better than Alex Smith, and he lifts the offense. I think that's common knowledge.
You just said you'd kiss on him.
I mean, I wasn't lying. I'm just saying.
That's fair, man. What is the record you have for the Washington Sea Dwarfs?
After going 7-9 last year, making the playoffs, I have them winning the division.
Holy Dazzler!
11-6.
You want to hear their song?
Thank you.
Their fight song?
Yeah.
Go, Seawards, go. Go, Seawards, go. Go, Seawards, go. Go, Sea Dwarfs, go.
That's weak, man.
We got a little guy under the sea.
Like, Seedorf, Seedorf, Seedorf near my skin.
Sometimes I don't understand, but I should. Do you have a bold prediction?
Yeah, I've got multiple.
Let's hear it.
I mentioned one earlier. They changed their team name to the Washington Lizard People to better represent the people of Washington, D.C.
That's my favorite bold take today. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think we should start a petition.
My next one is Ryan Fitzpatrick gets his first playoff win in his career. Terry McLaurin goes nuclear, 1,800 receiving yards, 12 touchdowns. And he solidifies himself as a top 5 receiver in the game. Not so bold prediction, but it is bold. Top 5 offense and top 5 defense. And they absolutely destroy people defensively.
Very good.
Yeah, I have one for Chase Young, but I'm gonna save that one for 2022.
Can we just hear it?
No.
All right.
It's going in the safe.
All right.
Next to my gallery of Play-Doh.
There you go. Is that for what's for dinner later?
No, I got sausage links.
That sounds like a manly old dinner, man.
Sausage, links, and oranges.
You're healthy.
Yeah, let's hear your bolds.
My first one is Daniel Snyder sells the team because he doesn't like the name change. Okay. And he sells it to Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Another Washington legend who's made a whole bunch of money.
What does he do with the team? Is he involved with the sports?
He involves a lot of Russians.
Uh-oh.
And people start to get sketched out, but it's all, it's all by the book.
Does he change the team name?
Yeah.
What does he change it to?
The Russian Mafia.
Washington Russian Mafia?
Yeah.
Thank you for
the
that.
Soviet Union.
Thank you, Alex Ovechkin.
Washington Soviet Union.
Golly.
And my other one is, this is like a scenario. The Washington football team, basically they have to win this game. It's at home, and it's snowing. And Riverboat Ron comes out of the locker room shirtless. And he coaches shirtless for the whole game.
Oh, no.
Without flinching or being, affected by the cold. The only thing is his nips get hard. And
Did they get nippy?
Yeah, he gets nippy and he can dial a cell phone. He can
Slash
cut
Pete.
stone. But he walks out like a wrestler, just seriously.
Conor McGregor walk.
Yeah, and Guerrilla Radio's on the station when he walks out.
Dang, that would be sick.
That's the last one out of the tunnel.
That would be historic.
Yeah, and he's wearing board shorts with flip-flops.
Does he keep his glasses on?
Yeah, but they're sunglasses and it's night.
He always does, man. He's got those glasses where you walk into the sun and they turn dark.
Yeah.
Respect.
Riverboat Ron, man, shout out to you. You got over cancer and we're still rooting for you, buddy.
Yeah, make sure to keep that shirt off.
Yeah, especially when it's -10.
Yeah, it's a lovely sight for the viewers.
He'll have like icicles hanging off his nips and dripping out of his nostrils, but he'll still play.
Is he going to play in the game?
No.
Oh.
He's going to do the coin toss.
He starts walking on all fours.
That would be the most intimidating. That would be the most like bad mofo thing you could do, man. Just sticking it to the other team. Or the goofiest looking thing ever.
It's almost as good as John Gruden taking a deuce.
Oh, dude, I would pay money to see that.
Yeah, I'd probably get up my firstborn for that.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably would too.
And then Ron Rivera on the other side, shirtless.
Yeah, it's like they play the same game. It's Monday Night Showdown.
The greatest show on turf.
Yeah, man, that's my bull. I don't have any real ones.
No, you got to get one, man.
Antonio Gibson is the best running back in the NFL. He runs for 2,000 yards.
Holy quickies.
Yeah.
But yet you have him going like 5 and 12.
8 and 9.
Oh. It's not bad, man.
It's not bad at all, man. None of these teams are that bad except for the Eagles.
This is the outtakes. You want to talk about the Eagles?
I don't have much. I already spilt my guts about them.
Yeah, well, we have the Heisman Trophy winner. And he's going to be an absolute freak.
That's all you can say, dude.
Yeah, I'll pay a ticket for him.
Your secondary's poop and your linebackers stink.
Secondary's not that bad.
Please tell me this is off the record. I don't want people to hear me thrash you
I
around
have
about
a lot
the
of
Eagles.
fan, man. Get the Eagles fans and send them over. You don't want that, man. Those things are scary.
Yeah, I don't want the Wet Willie special. What was it called? The Wet Willie in Philly? Yeah.
That's good, man. I'll give you credit.
Thanks, man.
That was very creative. It's a good way to use your brain.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of solitaire.
Yeah, it smells like it.
And I've also been doing a lot of solitary confinement.
Yeah, I could tell you've been playing a lot of solitaire because the stench from your BL.
What's the correlation?
We're trying hard at solitaire.
You smell, you know what? I'm going to be real honest with you. You smell like flowers
Yeah, I don't really have an odor.
that have been bathing in poop water for several years.
Yeah, I'll do it.
No, you smell like flowers that have been bathing in poop water for several years.
Poop water depends on the kind.
Dallas sewer water.
Dallas?
Yeah, Dasani. That's where Dasani gets their water, is the Dallas sewer line.
You're right. Yeah, we got to stick to Ozarka.
Yeah,
Ozarka will always be the best water.
I think the best water is Niagara. They get it from Niagara Falls when it's fallen over. They get it from the Maid of the Mist.
That's what they say, but then they'll pump it with chlorine and hydroperoxide.
You know what makes me like in a weird irrational fear that gives me anxiety? It's like thinking about going over Niagara Falls.
You think about that?
Yeah, it just scares me.
I don't think I've ever had anything close to that come to
Like
my
sometimes I'll watch YouTube videos of people that, have been almost gone over the falls and people that have.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scary thought.
You probably survive, but
in my head, like, it would be fun. Like, I know Niagara's too high to do it. You would die, but, Like going over a waterfall and like falling into water sounds fun.
But you wanted to do it? Like you were meaning?
No, not like Niagara. Like that would be terrifying.
I'm talking about you can't do anything about it and you're going to go over a waterfall and you don't know how deep it is.
Yeah, that's scary. I don't think I've ever had that thought, but now that you put it in my head.
You don't have random thoughts like that?
Not Niagara Falls, other thoughts.
Like what?
Like when I'm sitting in public, realizing that anyone at any moment could hurt people and do something very erratic or strange, and you have to, in an instant, make a decision. And you got to pick out which guy you think could potentially do something crazy, because you never know.
I never think about that.
I think about it all the time.
But I always sit with my back against the wall so no one can come up behind me.
Yeah, me too. I always got to face the door.
And every time I use the public restroom and I have to go number 2, I always lift my feet up.
Yeah, that's strange.
So no one can look under and see that I'm there. So they try to open the door.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like people to know that I'm in there. So when they walk in, they get the stench, they realize who's really in there.
Yeah, but the way I get people to know that I'm in there is I sniff. Like I'll go... Just to let them know,
that's
man.
That's intimidating because you're taking breaths of some stink water.
Yeah. And then I pretend like I'm drinking out of the toilet.
Is it weird that like your farts and your poop isn't as bad if it's yours, but when you smell someone else, it's putrid?
Yeah, it's a weird thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like I can't handle other people's.
Me neither. It's terrible.
Farts is different. I can handle any fart.
You love farts. Yours, anyone else? You're very invested.
I like this, my own stench.
You're very intrigued in other people's farts, like the smell and the sound.
It tells a story of a person's life.
I know, you're very invested.
But poop is...
Like, you'll give up a lot to smell someone's fart.
I'll run.
Like, you'll probably bear crawl through some, like, glass fields.
Dude, I don't care that much. Like, but I'm not going to run away if someone... Like, you always put your shirt over your nose. I'll never do that because that's a coward's way out.
No, I only do it to you. I don't do that in public or anything. I just do it to you because it sends a message to you.
No one farts in public.
I do it, and I don't care about it. I don't think twice either.
I have a lot of remorse when I do it. I run away.
I just fart, and then I start laughing like, dang, someone's going to get a terrible whiff.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of sick in the head.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably crop dust people, but I don't mean to. Like, I'll fart and then walk away real quick, and I know there's a little trail behind me. All right, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Forget What You Heard. That was NFC East. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. Much love. Peace, love, and happiness. Peace.
Chardon.